Hey everyone, recording today's daily notes. Want to first say thank you to everyone for all of your hard work. Couldn't ask for a better start to the school year. These 3 days have been phenomenal. Definitely one of our best starts ever, considering the nature of how we're opening schools here right now. So a huge thank you to all of you. I know that there's been some bumps in the road and there was some nervousness about starting school, but you guys are an amazing staff. And Charlie and I couldn't ask for a better group of people to work with on a daily basis, never mind open a school in the middle of a pandemic. So phenomenal job. I wanted to record daily notes today, as I know all of you are doing recordings, asynchronous and synchronous opportunities, and morning meeting and closing circle Zooms, and using technology to reach out to all your students. So I wanted to record daily notes today, change it up a little bit from those long emails. I'm sure we're all getting tired of reading very long emails. So changing things up a little bit. Just a couple of quick things here. These are all pretty quick. So just a reminder, I know we're using Walkies for many different things, bathroom breaks, recess, and lunch pickups, or student needs at certain times throughout the day. Just a reminder, confidentiality. We want to make sure we're not using student names. We want to make sure we're not using specific language to heighten anyone's anxiousness or make students nervous. For example, we got to be careful how we're walking for certain people, whether that's support staff or the crisis team or our school nurse. Just keeping it general. For example, if I'm having a major behavioral issue in my class, maybe, hey, Mr. Medeiros, can you pop by Mr. West's classroom? Obviously, if it's an emergency, please don't hold back. Let us know that that's something totally different. We'll deal with the trauma and the issues, if students are in a negative space after that. But obviously, that's an emergency. That's something totally different. But confidentiality on the walkie, very, very important. Let's keep that in mind. Next week, fire drill. We're going to start practicing our fire drills next week. Remember, last year we changed it up where the expectations from the state level is 4 per year. So obviously this year that means 8 of them. Cohort A one day, cohort B the next. So more information coming out on that. Charlie will send out information around a map of where grade levels will be. In order to ensure 6-foot distancing, we're going to have grades K through 3 be right out at the recess grass area where the walking track is, right next to our swings. And then grades 4, 5, and 6 will be at the soccer field. We want to make sure that we have that distancing space so that everyone can be 6 feet apart, because we need to maintain our distance even in a fire drill setting. We'll also have our SMEC and support staff sprinkled throughout the K through 3, 4 through 6 area, as those classrooms and support staff support the different grade levels. They will be stationed with those respective groups. So as I said, more information to come, but we're probably looking at later in the week, next week, for these fire drills. Just a reminder, folks, I know the superintendent sent out an email reminding staff to maintain 6-foot distancing when we're in PLC meetings, when we're in planning time, or we're just, our kids are at specialists and you're in a colleague's room, in the lunchroom, the spaces that you're reading. I know some of you are reading either in this lunchroom in the C wing, or you're reading in the library, or you're reading in one of the specialist areas. Please make sure you're keeping your 6-foot distancing, because we don't want anyone to get sick, God forbid. And we want to make sure that we're modeling the 6-foot distancing as well. So there's been some questions about attendance for hybrid out and remote students. So we talked about this a little bit at staff meetings over the first 10 days that we had for PD. So attendance for hybrid out students. We cannot mark a student absent if they are not at your morning meeting opportunity. Again, we need to communicate with families. We can reach out and ask why Johnny, Susie, Bobby's not at that morning meeting, Zoom meeting. And it could be potentially because, they slept in, they forgot. That's different, okay? But if a student is not at your morning meeting, you can't automatically mark them absent until you have that dialogue with families, because it may be that Johnny, Susie, Bobby are at a daycare center that doesn't have internet access or the staff to support them in joining your morning meeting. They might be at a grandma or grandpa's house who doesn't have the capability to assist them getting on those Zooms. Then, if you recall in our staff meeting discussions, they get attendance for the day. They get marked present by then joining your Google Classroom, looking at the assignments and the expectations for the day, and then posting and sending in the assignment. So everyone should be marked present And then later on in the evening or the next day, you can change it to absent if Johnny, Susie, Bobby just didn't show up or didn't participate in your class because they were absent or they just failed to do so. But we really should be reaching out to families saying, hey, just want to let you know I didn't see Johnny at the Zoom meeting and we had assignments posted on the Google Classroom. They didn't do that. We need to give our families an opportunity to respond and say, oh, sorry, he must have just missed it. Okay, that's an absence. Or no, unfortunately, he had to be with grandma, grandpa, or he's at a daycare provider, which you probably would know by now. I'm assuming your families would have reached out to you and let you know that. But if not, we need to give kids an opportunity to do the assignments and pass those in, and that is credit for the day. So remember, everyone present until either later on in the evening when you see that they didn't pass in or respond via your Google Classroom, the assignment of the day, or you're changing it to an absence the next morning, and that can be done. Your remote students, that's totally different. So if a family chose full remote, that means they know that they need to be live and ready to go during the teacher expected times, a morning meeting or live sessions. If the students don't attend, then obviously they're marked absent right away in the morning. But that's totally different because those families are expecting to have synchronous and asynchronous or live versus recorded sessions, and they need to be available when the teacher puts that information out because they chose full remote. More for hybrid out. We've had some situations where hybrid out kids were marked absent, and we need to hold off on that. They should always be marked present. And if they do not pass in the assignment or they do not respond to the Google Classroom expectation for the day, then they are marked absent the next day. So 2 ways a child can be marked present for hybrid out. They can be marked present by attending morning meeting and closing circle. Boom, there you go. Or they do not attend either one of those, but they've completed all the assignments for the day and they've turned it in at the end of that day in your Google Classroom. Okay. Charlie and I are working on an official document, expectations, remote learning, and hybrid out expectations that talk about what's expected of students, behavioral expectations. We talked a little bit about this, not having them jumping up and down on a trampoline during a Zoom meeting and all that. And that is going to be posted in our handbook, and it will be shared with all of you as well. So you have an actual official document to go by. Dismissal list went awesome, outstanding today. I want to thank Kim and Donna for all their hard work and Mike Forns for going around and passing that out and explaining it to everyone. Those dismissal lists are not going to be personalized like that every day. Obviously, we're doing that now because this is all brand new. But your dismissal list will be each day. You should be looking at the Google Excel sheet bus list that Charlie shared with everyone. That is a live moving document. So if you look at that every day at 2:30, right before we start getting ready to dismiss, 2:40, you'll know if there's any changes to that bus list. It is a live document. There probably is not going to be many, as there are waiting lists for most of our buses. But as each day goes, any updates to that gets done live right by Cheryl Sweeney or Howie or Donna and Kim here in the office or Charlie and I. So from a bus standpoint, all you have to do is log into that bus list and you can see your bus riders. The only list that's going to come from the office is our parent pickup countryside list. So really, your bus riders are going to be consistent for the year because, as I mentioned, due to only having 30% of students allowed on the bus, your bus rider situation is pretty much going to be fluid unless one kid all of a sudden drops off a bus and someone from the wait list goes on. Other than that, the list that you're really looking at is parent pickup and countryside. That's the only list that can change, where a parent might say, nope, I don't want Johnny to go to countryside today. I'm going to pick him up. Or Johnny's not going to get picked up by me today. He's going to get picked up by grandma. Or we're not going to get there to pick up Johnny. We need him to go to countryside. The parent pickup and countryside list is really the only list that's going to change on a daily basis. There's no allowing, oh, I know he showed up to school today on bus 8. Can he go on bus 3 with Susie because she's going to watch him for me tonight? That's not allowed. So no need to worry about that from a bus standpoint. Reminder to everyone, PD Day, half day of PD is coming up Monday, September 28th. That half day is going to be a menu of options. The one most of us are going to attend is Ames Web. There will be an Ames Web seminar, but there's also going to be Google Classroom and some social emotional offerings as well. So be on the lookout for that. Happy Friday again, everyone. Well-deserved weekend. I hope you all rest, get some time to be outdoors, but really just get time to spend with your family. You all deserve it. You're doing a phenomenal job. You will hear me say in the Medeiros Minute video today that we appreciate everyone. And when I say everyone, parents and guardians, patience with all of us. This is only the third time we've done hybrid out. We understand, and we know we're so happy that they understand and they're showing patience with us, that there's going to be tech glitches, things are going to freeze, things are going to shut off, just like the spring, as we got really good at the remote learning in the spring. Once we really got into it after a couple weeks, we're all going to get really, really good at doing this hybrid in, hybrid out experience as time goes on. I'm also going to announce to them that we know Monday's our first time of a full hybrid out for everyone. So please be patient, but the Mondays will get better and better every day as well. Awesome job, everyone. Couldn't be more proud to work with every single one of you. Great work, and enjoy your weekend.